The manga begins with a boundlessly happy girl named Yamada who eagerly asked a guy named Akkun whether the special love-themed bento she had made tasted good, and how many points he would give it. Akkun responded that it was good, and that it deserved 80 points. Yamada, pleased, explained that she had wanted to make something truly special for him, so she had looked up many recipes, and the effort had made her genuinely happy. Akkun mentioned that if the meal had contained a bit more meat, he would have scored it at 90 points. Yamada was delighted because that would have been her best score yet, and Akkun patted her head while remarking that she was pure and cute. She giggled with joy, proud that she had done better than the previous day, and she enthusiastically declared her intention to try even harder next time. As he walked away, he commented that such effort would be cool. Yamada then thought that if she worked even harder, Akkun might grow to like her even more. At that moment, a girl popped out of a nearby window and asked Yamada who the boy she had been speaking with was. The girl wondered aloud if he was Akira Kawatani from Class 1, and she expressed happiness that Yamada seemed to have a boyfriend. Mori then asked Yamada whether she wanted to talk about her love life. This girl is Mori. She is someone who attended the same school as Yamada since elementary school. Mori told Yamada that making a bento should be worth 100 points and added that it felt as if she had not spoken to Yamada in over a year. When Yamada suddenly stood up and began walking away, Mori asked where she was going. Yamada replied that she was heading to the library, but Mori suggested they talk more, explaining that she had been wanting to talk with her for ages. Mori began asking whether Yamada was getting along with her classmates, but one of Mori's friends interrupted and told Mori to return to class. You see, Yamada found Mori exhausting. Yamada reflected that Mori always surrounded herself with friends and treated everything lightly. She found Mori superficial and never knew what to talk about with her. In class, Mori's friend asked who the girl outside was, and Mori explained that she was someone she knew from elementary school. Yamada privately thought that Mori did not act like a true friend, though the matter did not concern her. As for the bento, Yamada decided to reduce the meat in her own portion the next time she cooked, recalling how she had nearly thrown up earlier. Yamada imagined how the following day, she would present Akkun with a bento packed generously with meat. Akkun would then express his satisfaction, saying she had outdone herself and that she prepared it just the way he liked it, and she imagined how happy she would feel when he appreciated it. She recalled how, back then, when she had been crying behind the school building, Akkun had approached her and asked whether she was Yamada from Class 3. She had been flustered and immediately apologized, thinking she was in his way, but he had stopped her and invited her to eat lunch with him since she was alone. His unexpected kindness surprised her, because he was the only one who treated her kindly when she was all alone. From that moment, Yamada resolved that no matter what anyone said about Akkun, she wanted to remain by his side. She loved him deeply and wanted to do her best for him. She believed that if she behaved perfectly, he would tell her, just as he had back then, that he wanted her to keep making lunch for him and that he liked her. However, when she arrived at school, the sight that greeted her at lunch was Akkun agreeing to eat lunch with another girl. Yamada's expression darkened. She called out to him, and he immediately cursed in irritation. As he tried explaining, the girl beside him asked who Yamada was. When Yamada began to introduce herself, Akkun cut her off and simply introduced her as Yamada from Class 2. When he attempted to introduce the girl beside him, he forgot her name and vaguely referred to her as another girl from Class 2, until she introduced herself as Takayama. Yamada then tried to ask about their lunch plans, but Akkun interrupted again and pulled her aside. He demanded to know why she was acting like his girlfriend, accusing her of being unable to read the room and saying her behavior was uncool. Yamada explained that she had been worried after seeing him with someone else, and that she had made lunch for him. Akkun sighed and asked what her problem was and whether she was trying to control him. Yamada realized he was furious. She panicked, thinking she messed up again and wondering what she should say. She wondered whether she should ask if Takayama was only a friend, or if he was dating her, or whether he even liked her at all. Suddenly, Akkun grabbed her arm and asked whether she would be a good girlfriend for him. He then hugged her and asked if she understood what he meant. She blushed and said she did. Because she answered correctly, he awarded her 95 points, and she felt elated. Yamada apologized for making a fuss earlier, reasoning that even Akkun would want to spend time with friends. When he smiled at her, she felt like she was high. He thanked her for understanding, and things between them returned to normal. But Mori told Yamada that things were not fine and questioned why she was sitting and eating as if nothing had happened when she should have been angry that Akkun was in the cafeteria with another girl. Yamada answered that she was simply doing what she wanted, so everything was fine. Mori asked whether she enjoyed eating two people's lunches, warning it would make her gain weight. Yamada called her insensitive, and warned that she would lose friends because of such remarks. But Mori simply thanked her for the advice as she opened Yamada's second lunch. Yamada insisted it was not a warning, and when she saw Mori eating her food, she asked her what she was doing. But Mori continued eating and complimented her cooking. Yamada explained that she spent the previous day marinating ingredients for Akkun, so it was natural for the food to taste great. Mori commented that such dedication was impressive. Yamada responded that it was only natural to prepare proper meals for someone special and again demanded that Mori stop eating her food without permission. Mori finally complied. Mori said she did not see anything wrong with devoting oneself to someone, but it would be better to devote such effort to someone who genuinely deserved it. She told Yamada she was sincere but also naive, which caused others to take advantage of her. Mori then invited her to karaoke the next day, but Yamada firmly told her to leave her alone. Yamada asked why Mori had come to her at all and said that if she had nothing further to say, she should go. As Mori stood up, she explained that she had come to tell Yamada that they would be moving classrooms the next period, and she had assumed Yamada might have missed the announcement, so she came over to let her know. Yamada thought she did not need friends and that Akkun alone was enough. She believed she did not care if Akkun made other friends, so long as he liked her the most, that was enough. After all, she would work hard for that. She resolved that to make him keep loving her, she would consider his feelings in everything she did. Just then, she saw Akkun running toward her, begging for help. The group chasing him shouted at him to stop running and insisted he would not get away with what he had done. One of them even prepared to punch him. When Yamada asked what was wrong, Akkun told her that he had realized she was the only one for him. She blushed, unsure how to respond. But someone in the pursuing group shouted that Akkun had been three-timing. One claimed he had been fooling with her friend, and another said he had made a move on his girlfriend. Takayama, crying, asked whether he had lied when he said he liked her. The group then demanded that Yamada hand him over. Akkun hurriedly insisted that the other girls had been only for fun and that Yamada was his real girlfriend. He claimed he had simply been lonely, and that recent events had made him realize how important she was to him. But all Yamada could think about was that he had been cheating. He had lied and deceived everyone. However, when he asked if she was the only one who understood him, she felt compelled to act. Like an angel, she stepped forward, took his hands, and said she understood him. She felt thrilled that Akkun had no one else to rely on but her, and assured him that she would always stay by his side. Believing she knew exactly what to say, she thought she could finally become a perfect 100-point girlfriend. She promised that everything would be fine, and told him not to worry. At that moment, Mori intervened and insisted that what Yamada was doing was unhealthy. Mori said she spoke as a friend and warned Yamada not to become a doormat out of fear of being disliked. But Yamada defended herself, claiming she was merely being considerate and trying to be perfect. Yamada had always been clumsier than others. People called her an airhead. At first, they found it amusing and befriended her, but eventually they grew tired and abandoned her. She stopped wanting to attend school, and when she told her mother said it was probably because she had messed up again. Her mother reminded her that she always broke the plates, forgot to wash her gym clothes, and left laundry hanging outside. Even with a busy job, her mother still managed to prepare dinner properly, so she told Yamada to get her act together. That was when Yamada concluded that everything had been her fault. The inability to stay in class during lunch, avoiding her childhood friend to prevent further exclusion, her mother's constant yelling, and even her mother stopping cooking for her. It all happened because she had failed to be considerate, and had failed to be perfect. But when she had been alone, Akkun had shown her kindness. He had stayed by her side even when she kept making mistakes. So she decided she had to be perfect this time. She could not lose him. Mori then asked what being perfect even meant. Mori explained that if perfection meant never making mistakes, then Yamada's standards were impossibly high. Mori recalled how, when she entered elementary school with dyed hair, everyone assumed she was a troublemaker and avoided her. But Yamada had approached her and asked if she was a princess because of her pretty hair. Mori had loved that quirky innocence. Later, Mori learned that Yamada had been ostracized in high school and felt angry at herself for not noticing sooner. She reminded Yamada that no one was perfect and that she should not punish herself for every mistake. She told her it was fine to consider others' feelings, but she also needed to care about herself. Just then, Akkun called out to Yamada, telling her not to listen to those weirdos, and insisting that she was the most important person to him. Yamada decided to think about what would be best for Akkun. But when she remembered how her former friends had used her as a bag carrier and how Akkun, despite being at fault, was asking her to protect him, she suddenly vomited on him. After the vomit, she went pale and tried to explain, but Akkun angrily told her not to give him excuses. He wondered aloud what he should do since she had vomited on him, and then snapped that he had only chosen her because a loner like her would not tell anyone. He had assumed she would be easy to manipulate, and now she had repaid his kindness by puking on him. While he ranted, Mori joyfully slammed a bucket over his head. As she wiped away her tears of satisfaction, she told Yamada that she was amazing, then grabbed her hand and pulled her away. But Yamada cried, believing she had messed up again. Mori reassured her that it was not a mistake. In her perspective, Akkun had hurt her friend, so her reaction was not wrong. But Yamada continued crying because she had thrown up. Mori told her it was okay not to be perfect, and that it was okay to make mistakes sometimes. Yamada insisted that leaving the mess behind was still wrong and that they would get in trouble the next day. The next day, Yamada once again ate alone, and the students passing by gossiped about her. Akkun texted her, asking whether they could start over. She wanted to reply with gratitude and a confession of love, but instead she deleted her words and blocked him. At that moment, Mori appeared and asked whether she wanted to eat lunch with them, since she was alone anyway. Mori's friends asked whether she was the girl who had thrown up, and Mori confirmed it while saying that Yamada is her friend. Mori and her friends immediately gathered around Yamada. They called Akkun trash. One girl began talking about her ex from the previous year, prompting another to warn Yamada that she would never stop talking about him. That girl replied that recycling bad experiences into good stories was fine. Another complained that she had failed a test, and she was told she should try studying. Someone else said she did not understand her homework and asked Yamada if she was good at math and could help. Yamada admitted she lacked confidence in doing the assignment, but she would try. Mori attempted to take some of Yamada's chicken, but Yamada refused to share, so Mori suggested trading for her sausage. Yamada agreed only if it was traded for her meatloaf. Mori called her brutal since it was her main dish. The other girls noted how invested Yamada and Mori seemed in trading their lunch, so they suggested that everyone should trade lunches together.